Hola humans, Tredel the Comic God here, and today I'm just going to give you an update. Really what I'm going to do is take you through my concept design journey of my main character for, if you've been watching my channel recently, you've seen that I'm updating this character and giving him like his final look, or his like current look, I guess. I'm not saying he can't swap clothes, but his general vibe. So I'm going to take you through basically my concept direction for that and how I came up with the final design. Yeah, so let's do that. So I did my roughs and I did my outline and I did my design brief. This is what I'm going for. This is over here is the write out of everything I should keep in mind while I'm designing, and this is just the world he's from. So I think that's important because you gotta know what world you are in if you're gonna design. Being in Dragon Ball Z versus being in One Piece, a lot different. So then I went from this and I took elements I liked of these sketches and I turned it into this. So if we go back for a second, you can see I took this jacket and then I took the onesie aspect and then I took this and these guards. I just kind of pieced them up, mixed and matched to make sure that I got everything I liked, and I took the backpack of that version. So now we have this, and I set them up in two pretty different ways, I think, but it's like my second pass of this version, and honestly I like them both. So what I do next is I combine them further. I think what I end up doing is taking like the onesie of this outfit and the jacket of this outfit, and then I think fuse the layouts more or less. But if you see here on this side, I also like tightened up the stuff to make it look a little more legible, I guess. But it looks cool. This part specifically looks like it could be a like at the side of a card. Ooh, what's the breakdown of this person? Like a D&D thing. All right, so now we went from here, and then obviously you see my notes over here. I'm doing notes the whole time because I think notes are important, especially if I get up and go grab a coffee, and then I might do a side quest because that's how my brain works. I'll get up, so go like, oh, I'm gonna get a snack, and the next thing you know, I'm freaking 10 minutes away at the Starbucks. So notes, super important, especially when I'm doing this at home. But these guys turn into this, which I kept the coat, I kept the onesie. I do two different variations because I really liked how that was, but it felt a little unbalanced. And I think if you're actually going around and traveling, which his name is Walker, the Wandering Wizard, he walks everywhere and learns wizardry. So I feel like this is a much more real setup. So I thought that was cool. And then you have his scrolls and his sword, and I think it looks cool. And then, of course, the notes. Super important. And then I go from this, and the whole time the face has kind of been blank. I've been using the afro as kind of like a placeholder, because I wasn't really sure what the hair was going to be. In my sketches, I do it differently. Like, for example, right here, this is a version of him, and he's got, look, no afro, and he looks totally different. I actually take some inspiration from this later on in the design, because I just think that's one of the coolest I've made him look, as far as just having stuff on him and blah blah blah. So but yeah, the next thing I do is the face. So over here I have the ghosted body in mind. Well, I do each one, and I did each one a different color of blue, because his hair is blue because he's part ice spirit, but in my head it's like a darker blue because the ice spirit is grandma. She's like a pale blue, almost like ice, and he gets like, I guess, a human version of that. And I didn't want to just make his hair white because that felt very I'm not gonna say common, because I have another character who has a reveal that his hair is all white. So, but it felt a little samey, especially because I have another character that does it, and then you have a bunch of different characters that have it. That's a mark of, ooh, this person's special. Like, well, Goku now has white hair, Luffy has a white hair transformation, the Targaryens, all of these people with white hair. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make it more blue. Plus, like, who doesn't like the color blue, right? It's one of those solid favorite colors, I think. But yeah, you see how these are very different. This one is kind of like the one I just showed you. This, I put the braid up because I like the long hair over here, and that's mostly how he looks. But I was like, I don't know, maybe if he's trying to hide his identity at some point, you could do a braid up. And then I just did this more standard one, which honestly, I like the vibe, but I don't know if it says, like, if it speaks to the character. Right? It's a little too clean cut, I guess is what I'm saying, right? That's what I think. So ultimately, I kind of nixed that one. I put this one on standby because I like it, but I'm like, This one I think is a little too eccentric for right now, because it's very different, right? So maybe later on he cuts his hair like that because I don't know, he gets a little more eccentric. But I think right now he's like chilling out. And then I think in the thing after, I kind of just go ahead with that version, as you can see here. See how I so I honestly asked my mom which one she liked best out of these, because she liked this one best in this lineup, even though I still like the Afro one best. And I thought this one was weird, but I was still considering it. That's why I put the beard over here in the middle one. But ultimately I said, okay, let's play with the braid up, because I think it's cool. She chose this beard with this. So, and I like this color. So now, in canon, his hair color is this. It's like a, I want to say like a dirty ice, but it's kind of like, you know, the blue salt that you have to put outside if you're like in the winter? It's kind of that color. I don't know what that says. Do I still like that? I still like it. I think it's cool. I don't know. It's like a dark teal. I'm a teal guy. I like teal as a color. One of my favorites. So I think it rocks. So maybe I'll do some color comps later, but more or less, this is what the color is. And then I go straight to final designs, and then I do this. These final designs I don't love. I kind of split them. I was being lazy. It was 4 a.m. I was like, I don't want to draw these arms twice. And now it looks like he's like that, which I don't love. And I fixed that in the next one. But if you, but as far as hairstyle, this is the final outfit. I think it looks cool. He has enough stuff that looks like a traveler, but not too much where it's like, oh my gosh, he's carrying like everything. His whole house on his back, you know? And at first I didn't know what this big scroll was. I had no clue. But then I was like, what if he could summon his personal items out of the scroll? And the only reason it's so big is because it needs to be a certain size to fit stuff in it, and that's like part of his pack. Now, that's not for sure yet, but I do like that idea. So I was like, maybe. But it's just to show that he's magic-like, he's wizard-like, there's something going on, because not usually do people carry scrolls like this. And then he's got a sword, because in his youth he hung out with pirates for a little bit, and he got a pirate sword from it. And then just more scrolls, and then he's got a little drip here. He has 2 different necklaces. They indicate 2 different things. One turns into a magic staff, where you can do like stronger ice magic with. It's a shard of winter. So, and he's a winter spirit, so that's why. But what I was saying before, Afro versus braid up. I don't know if I love the braid up. I really don't know if I love the braid up. So I was still on the fence at this period, and then boom, ooh, look at that, fancy. That's the final right there, right? Elset and all, or Walker in all his glory. Elset's his actual name, by the way. That's why I called him that. But he's just known as Walker by everybody. So, but yeah, that's it. You see, I put the belt in and the chain from this guy because I thought it was too cool to pass up. And it's also another thing that signifies what's going on with him. And I love that in character design, you gotta put different elements of their history on their person, right? I think that's cool. And then you've got his magic scroll. That's his like superpower, I guess. It's the one thing that's not innately magic. It's more like I guess if we're using D&D terms, like a sorcerer thing, because it's an innate power he has. And what he's able to do is he's able to get, like, for example, dragons can breathe fire. That's an innate ability they have. But he's able to copy that down as a spell, right? And then he'd be able to use that himself. But fire breathing is a little basic. You gotta think to something cooler. I don't know what yet. I'm not really... Don't have one on hand, but that's basically what he can do. And then he's only able to use it once or a couple of times. I don't know how the power system works, but I can't have it. It's not going to be too broken, because you can imagine he has 100 different creature spells, and using them all in tandem, he'd be too OP. Can't reach that level yet. Maybe one day, though. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I really like this design. He's got, the pirate sword and the big scroll in the back, which is like, it reminds me of Jiraiya from Naruto, and, Jiraiya from Naruto is awesome in some ways. We all know he's the GOAT, so I was like, cool. And then we have his fur coat, and that's like, oh, his thing is ice, you know? And then I have a little color palette over here, but I didn't color this guy, but like skin tone, eyes, hair, coat, underneath. I should really just colored it, but you guys will get a colored illustration soon, I promise. Maybe I'll do that on the live stream. If you guys want a live stream of me drawing the guy in full color, doing something awesome, let me know. I think that'd be a fun live stream, just a draw and chat type deal. But this is the final design. I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's more involved than my previous design, which I really like, but it's very simple. So if he was ever to appear in a comic book of mine, I probably would not draw all of this, at least not consistently, because he'd be in like a few panels or two, because it's a lot to draw. It's not too much. There are people that definitely have more going on, but if he was to show up, he'd probably look a little more like that. Just basic, because when you got to draw someone 100 times, you want them to be a little more basic, I think. I don't know, that's my policy, because just if you're doing a comic book and it's too busy, the design is just way too busy, you're not going to get it done. You're never going to get it finished. I know, because I've tried. I've definitely tried. And it works so much better when they have simple, recognizable costumes. And that's why all the 90s guys at the time, remember, if you guys know 90s comics, and they had like 1,000 belts for no reason, and you got to draw that 7 times in 1 page, of course you're going to be late with your deadline. What are we talking about? So, I know that was a little bit of a tangent, but this is the design. I'm happy with it. I'm so happy with it. It's not colorized yet, but I will do that soon. I'm probably going to do a fun illustration. I'll post the speed drawing on here, and then I'll post the actual one on my Instagram. Go follow my Instagram, Tredel the Comic God. I got to start posting on there more. I've been liking YouTube a lot more than Instagram recently. It is what it is. But this is what I've been doing. This is what I've been getting up to this week. I've been writing this. I've been doing this concept. I've been working a little bit on my comic. I didn't get as far in my comic as I would have liked to this week, but everything's a trade-off. It was also super busy, and at the beginning of the week I was a little under the weather still, I think. Possibly. Let's say I was. Made me feel better for not getting as much done. But yeah, that's my update. Concept art and comics. What's better than that? Oh, and writing. The freaking trifecta. So, that's it. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and see you later. Watch out for that live stream. All right. Peace out.